In this video, I'm going to explain the 4 tools I use that makes greasing our machines much easier. Stick around to the end and I'll point out the 8 possible grease points that you might have depending on your year model and aftermarket parts. Number 1, wheel bearing greaser. I'm big on maintenance with all of our machines. I learned from reading the forums a few years back that the Polaris OEM wheel bearings are greasable, and most times new machines come with very little grease in the wheel bearing. I grease the wheel bearings every oil change, which on a Turbo S is every 500 miles. Sometimes I'll do it again in between oil changes depending on how long between rides, just to make sure that the bearings are topped off. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm just explaining what I've learned and the routine maintenance I do on our machines. So check with your local mechanic or take the information for what it is. Number 2, locking grease gun coupler. Hands down the must-have tool. I literally would rather run with a sheet of plywood on a windy day than try to grease without a lock and lube coupler. The coupler is rated for 10,000 psi and does not leak once it's locked on. What's impressed me the most is that the coupler is actually rebuildable, and they include a replacement seal and jaws with every coupler sold. I've owned this for a few years now with no issues, and I still have the replacement parts if I do need to rebuild it. Number 3, grease nozzle kit. When you start greasing all the points on your machines, you'll realize fairly quickly that the normal grease head just isn't enough. So I found a 7-piece grease nozzle kit that gave me every angle and tip that I thought I would need. Since owning the kit, I have not found a Zrk that I didn't have the proper nozzle for. For example, on the Rzr 170 that we have, it requires a 90-degree angle tip to reach the 4 Zrks on the A-arms. On the flip side, the Super AT ball joints that we have on our Turbo S requires a needle tip nozzle. So those are just 2 of the many examples I could give that makes giving the 7-piece grease nozzle kit well worth it. Number 4, cordless grease gun. You might be thinking at this point, this is just overkill. And you could be right. But I know for sure it makes it a lot easier for routine grease maintenance when you have multiple machines to keep greased. Now there's multiple cordless grease guns options out there. We decided to go with the DeWalt one because it had the 42-inch extra long flexible hose, and that helped me when trying to grease the sway bar mounts on our Turbo S. Number 5, the bonus tip. That's the 8 possible grease points your machine might have. Now every machine is different, so please keep in mind I'm only pointing out the grease points I found over the years on the different machines we've owned. For example, we owned a Rzr XP1000 that had a ton of aftermarket parts that had all 8 grease points I'm about to discuss. If your machine is fully stocked, you might not have a lot of these, but I suggest still checking the areas and making note of the ones you do have. So here we go. Number 1, the drive shaft yoke by the transmission. Number 2, the drive shaft yoke by the carrier bearing. Number 3, the U-joints on the drive shaft. Number 4, the carrier bearing. Number 5, the front lower and upper A-arms. Number 6, ball joints. Number 7, sway bar mounts. Number 8, wheel bearings. Out of those 8, our Turbo S only has 3 of them. So don't be surprised if you're looking and you only find a few because you have a newer machine. It's better to know where to check than miss something and it doesn't get properly maintained. In conclusion, with the lock and load coupler, the wheel bearing greaser tool, a grease nozzle kit, and a cordless grease gun, you're going to have a much better experience when you're greasing your machines. So check out the description of this video for links to all the products we mentioned. Using the links in our description to buy these products helps us to continue to bring you great information like this video. Please show your support by hitting the subscribe button and clicking the bell icon to turn on notifications. If this video has helped you regarding greasing your machine, then please smash the like button, and thank you for watching.